Good morning, traders. Hope everyone's doing well out there today. It is Wednesday, January the 6th. It's 7:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I just wanted to quickly put out a video out there regarding our this past Sunday's stock watch list that I put out on YouTube. Folks, I hope you're watching these watch lists. I hope you're really paying attention, because I will tell you this. Today's only Wednesday, and the people who took advantage of this watch list and play the way I play are up dramatically this week already. Okay, so again, I hope people are paying attention, and I'm just going to dive right into this and give you a small recap of how we're trading this and how we're taking advantage of these trades. Okay, the first stock that was on our watch list was Boeing. Okay, now, mind you, folks, for those of you that are new to the channel, I'm a price action trader. I like playing candlestick breaks, usually on monthly and weekly highs or lows. Okay, so, and then what I do is once I'm in the trade, I start looking for areas on smaller term time frames regarding possible resistance areas. Okay, so this is basically, let me show you a monthly chart on, this is what I do. This is a monthly candlestick chart on Boeing. I'm going to highlight this area. And as you can see, this here red candlestick, okay, if you can see it, okay, let me just highlight a little bit more. There it is, right there. That was last month, December's high. December's high was 244.08, and the low was 210.03. Okay, what I do is I draw my yellow lines, and those are the yellow. I identify them in yellow as the previous month's high and the previous month's low. Then what I do is I go to my weekly chart. Okay, and if you take a look at the weekly chart, this was last week's high and last week's low. Last week's high was 221.68, and last week's low was 212.70. Okay, if price action stays in between this area, okay, I don't usually trade. I need to see a break of some kind, okay, whether it's to the upside or whether it's to the downside. Okay, and let me show you what happened with Boeing on a smaller term time frame. So I'm going to take you to a 5-minute time frame, okay, and I'm going to show you the last 2 days of the trading day. And here we have it. Okay, so what did Boeing do? Boeing broke. Not only did it break last week's low, it broke last month's low, and it failed, and it kept failing. So what I do is I pay very close attention, because remember, once it breaks last week's low now is no longer the support. Last week's low becomes resistance. Once it breaks last month's low no longer becomes support. Last month's low becomes resistance. And I love, the Manny Magoo loves playing the back inside months, the back inside weeks. And what I mean by back inside is, if you take a look here yesterday, look what happened when Boeing started to march up. This yellow line here was last month's low. Okay? I watch for these areas to see if we can possibly get a break and go back inside the body of last month. And that's exactly what we did. And usually what I do is I usually take the trade. Okay? So I've identified my resistance at 210.30, but I've also identified the support now at 210.30. So mind you, folks, if you take this trade at 210.30 and it starts working, and let's just say it pulls back viciously, you know that 210.30 is support. You can always get out if it breaks, or you might give it a little bit of room, maybe put a stop at 210. Okay, again, it's very defensive play the way I play, because once we have identified an area of resistance and the break, we know that the resistance becomes support. And if it fails, if the move just doesn't happen, it's okay to get out. but at the same time, you're not losing much. You're being defensive. You can always get back in, okay? But Boeing, as you can see, if somebody took the trade at 210.30, not only did Boeing march up, it broke the resistance at the low of last month. And then it broke last week's low of 212.70. So, we don't know where Boeing's going to be today, but as of right now in pre-market, it's above last week's low. Okay, so for those of you who took advantage of Boeing, congratulations. Okay, the second stock on our watch list was NIO. I mean, NIO's just been unbelievable, And here's the last 2 days on NIO. Again, in pre-market, what did it do? It broke, let me look at a weekly. Oh, okay, here we go. This is easier. This is a daily. So here's last week's high, $50.50. Here's last month's high, $52.10. So what I was doing on Sunday is I was looking for, I identified this area and I was looking for a break on NIO, knowing that right here, folks, 54.20 is going to be an area of resistance. So keep that in mind. And look, as a matter of fact, look what happened. It got to 54.45, only 25 cents above, and NIO did pull back. So again, I identify these areas of resistance as soon as I'm in the trade, and it helps me. Because once I see an area of resistance, of major resistance coming up, what do I usually do? I put some money back in my pocket, okay? So again, if you take a look at NIO on a smaller term time frame, what did it do? Here it is. It broke last week's high. It broke last month's high. And I mean, it ran all the way up to 54.45. Then what did it do? It came back, found some support on, and mind you, you could have actually taken this trade again. So check this out, folks. NIO came back on Monday. It broke last month's high, okay, 52.10. And if you would have been patient, you could have played it again on the break of 52.10. Why? Because that becomes now resistance. And why not play a resistance break? Okay? So, and look what happened yesterday in the morning. NIO went all the way down to test the high of last week. Okay? And it reclaimed. And then what did it do? It broke again the high of last month. So these are plays that you can keep on playing all over and over again and make money. DraftKings, our third stock. Let's look what happened in the last 2 days. This was a massive, it was a great trade for me. I didn't get in all of them. I mean, it's very hard for me to get in all of them because I also moderate in a private room when I'm in the trades. But I got involved in DraftKings. I did really well. And as you can see here at DraftKings, there's a tremendous amount of support on the low, last month's low, okay? And let me just make sure that's the low. Hold on a second. Yes. So here's a daily chart. And as you can see, this is an outside candle, by the way. So not only was DraftKings weak enough to break the previous month's low and the previous week's low, but it was also very strong to break and go above the last week's high, okay, which is the 46.52 area. But if you take a look at a shorter term time frame on DraftKings in the last 2 days, and you could have taken this trade even yesterday alone, look what it went back inside and broke last month's 45.71 area. Okay, it was off to the races. So that's another example. Another one, Overstock. We absolutely killed it. This was my biggest trade this week so far, was Overstock. Overstock, here you have it, folks. So again, these are things that I show over and over again. Here is a monthly chart. So this was last month's high and low. So I pay attention. So what did DraftKings do? I'll show you. Let's go to a 5-minute chart, a shorter term time frame. So what did it do? On Monday, guess what? It broke last month's low. So what does last month's low now become? It becomes resistance. I love playing the back inside. For me, that's probably one of the strongest moves out there. Okay, so DraftKings, and you know, it was funny because I was speaking to a gentleman that's a hedge fund trader, and when I had DraftKings on my watch list, he said, "Why in the world would you even think about getting involved in DraftKings? That would be the last stock that I'd be looking to get involved in." I mean, it has a completely downward trend, and he's not lying. If you take a look at a 1-year daily chart, and if you take a look at a chart, what is it doing? It's doing nothing but going down, and it's putting in lower highs, okay? But what I saw in DraftKings were three things. I saw a major area of support, and let me zoom in and show you the area. If you take a look, here, there's a candle on 724, the low, 48.39. There's another candle on 48.50, which was the November 10th candle, okay? And it literally got down there. So this is the area that I was looking for a possible reversal. Now, I don't know if DraftKings is going to continue marching up, but you know what? I really don't care. I'm a price action trader, okay? You know, and I'm a trader. So what was I paying attention to? This is what I was paying attention to, folks, okay? I was paying attention to the break, and then I was paying attention for it to reclaim and go up. And guess what? If you would have taken DraftKings here on this trade at 47.61, okay, it closed yesterday at 53.73. Okay, that is an unbelievable, amazing move. Okay, if you take a look at it in percentages, okay, that trade is more than 10%. As a matter of fact, if I do the numbers right here, 46.75 times 15%, okay, that is a 15% move, folks. 15% in 2 days. Okay, people dream about making 15% in a year. Okay, 15% in 2 days. So you need to pay attention to what I post out there. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm trying to help as many people as I possibly can. So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, okay? Every Sunday I try to post at least 7 stocks. And if you've been listening to me since I've been posting these stocks back in, let's just say November is when I started. I decided to start doing this. I can promise you, you would be up huge, okay? The next stock was PLTR, Palantir. Same thing with Palantir. Here's the weekly low. What did it do yesterday? It broke the weekly low and it went off to the races. Another stock you could have taken long and made money. Now, the one I am looking at and paying close attention to today, so mark this down, is RPAY. RPAY. Now, RPAY doesn't move as much as many others, but RPAY has been in this range for quite some time. And if you take a look, okay, here, this is last week's high, last week's low. This is, okay, and the yellow line obviously is the monthly. So what am I looking for? As you can see, it's been consolidating right here, right underneath last week's low of $26.37. I want to see if it can get back inside, okay? So I am paying attention to RPAY, but again, I'm not ready to take the trade. It's just not there yet, okay? Last but not least is Delta Airlines. And look what happened to Delta yesterday. Again, another perfect, absolutely perfect example. Here's a monthly candlestick chart on Delta Airlines, and this was last month's high and last month's low, right there, December. So the high was 43.76 and the low was 38.84. Okay? If you go to a weekly chart, you'll see that last week's high was $40.91 and last week's low was $39.76. So let's take a look at a shorter time frame and let's see what happened. So I'm going to zoom in right here. Okay? This is Monday. This is Tuesday. Okay? You could have made a little bit of money here when it went back inside. Not huge, but you could have still made money. Why? Because, see, once you go back inside, and you break, because Delta Airlines, it broke last month's weekly low. It broke, last week's weekly low. It broke last month's weekly low. So you got to pay attention to this area now, because this area now is resistance. There's no reason why you shouldn't play it if it goes back inside and breaks that resistance, because it could continue running. Now, it tried to run, but it didn't. It came back, it failed, but look what happened yesterday. Okay? So if you would have taken advantage and been watching this at the 38.84 level, not only did it go back inside, break the resistance, which was last month's high, it ran all the way and broke last week's low as well. Okay? That's a great run, folks. Pay attention to these things. I don't do them for I really focus on some players that can really make us money, and this week has been absolutely phenomenal. And folks, it's only Wednesday. Okay, so we've only had 2 days of trading, and some of our stocks are as high and up as 15%. One stock in 2 days. Okay, so again, pay attention to those. There's nothing wrong with swing trading them either. Okay, some of the stocks I do hold for a couple of days, and then some I decide to get out of. But when you have a weekly and monthly break, that's a big move. That's not a small move. Okay, that there's more meat and potatoes, I call it, in a move when you're dealing with weekly and monthly breaks or back insides, those time frames, because they hold a lot of weight. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. You can also email me at hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. I'm trying to hit a measly 100 subscribers, so see if you can help the Magoo out. Have a great day, folks, and again, trade safely.